I know you have all been waiting for me to talk about Griffonstone, and many have thought they would see how I would react to my homeland. Oh, I see how it is. Just because I have a beak, I must be from Griffonstone. But I am no griffin. I am a hippogriff. My father was a griffin, and my mother a pony. I hold qualities of both species within my heart and my rump. Look at my tush, look at my tush, look at my tush. I am part pony. I try to show kindness and camaraderie. I believe in the strength of emotions. And as a griffin, I carry the qualities of...
rude, insensitive bullies?
Yeah, exactly. Is it any wonder I'm so messed up? And I shall acknowledge what I am. Don't blame me, I'm part griffin. Part griffin, this is all because I'm part griffin. I'm taking your bling because I'm part griffin. And the moral of the story is that anyone who blames their own failings on ancestry is the real slime ball. Also, let us never speak of this again. There isn't enough sugar in the world to match this saccharin opening.
This is gonna be so great, Gummy! We have absolutely nothing to do today except think!
So, of course, the one day you think you have a clear schedule is the day that work calls via your rump pager. Typical.
The map!
Once again, we enjoyed the debate over whether or not Pinkie Pie's antics are funny. In this case, I'd say, oh yes, definitely. Turns out Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash are being summoned to the heart of the Griffin Kingdom. And this is but the second mission given out by our mystery map. You know, that gift from a mystical power that's supposed to be the focus of this season? The motive for our heroines to spread the gospel of friendship? I'm being harsh because this feels like it should have happened later in the season. Twilight's not going and it's only the second mission thus far? Can we really call this Twilight's mission when she's already outsourcing?
If the map wanted me to go to the coolest kingdom in all of Equestria and tour the palace and see the actual idol that unites an entire species, which would be super amazing, I'm sure it would have said so.
This harkens back to the criticism that Twilight is giving up her own autonomy for the sake of the theme. And yet, there's also a sense of fulfillment of a past lesson. Way back in Season 1, Twilight learned a lesson about trusting that a factor in life is real even if it can't be readily explained. And no, I don't limit that lesson to purely religious terms. In this case, Twilight is trusting in the map's role even though she herself doesn't understand. I do regret that she's not a part of this mission, but it seems to be integrating previous episodes into her personality.
I'll stay here and do important princessy things, I guess.
And those princessy things include losing sleep to the point of delirium, nearly starting a war with another country, and stalking a pony out of an extreme sense of guilt. Wow, Twilight, you are in for a rough ride. Well, I'll look forward to being as snarky and infuriating as possible in the near future. Okay, ta-ta. But at least Twilight has a role in this story.
Always carry plenty of bits. The Griffins are sure to help you as long as you share the wealth.
Rainbow really has been hanging around Pinkie Pie for a while. But while Twilight provides some important narration, this is now Rainbow and Pinkie's task, and Rainbow couldn't be more unenthused. Yeah, Gilda left a bitter impression on both Rainbow Dash and myself, so I'm certainly happy to finally have a chance to meet some other Griffins. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. It's finally time to talk about Griffonstone, the hitherto unseen homeland of the Griffins. The backstory, told through the impressively stylized artwork, paints an image of a species obsessed with hoarding gold. And they weren't much for teamwork until one Griffin found the one bling to rule them all. Methinks someone's been reading up on the life of Apollonius of Tyana. And as to the gold which the Griffins dig up, there are rocks which are spotted with drops of gold as with sparks, which this creature can quarry because of the strength of its beak. And the Griffins of the Indians and the ants of the Ethiopians, though they are dissimilar in form, yet, from what we hear, play similar parts. For in each country they are, according to the tales of the poets, the guardians of gold, and devoted to the gold reefs of the two countries. Back to the episode, if you expect me to be impressed by the adorableness of Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash's hats, then you are absolutely correct!
Tell the king you've been sent by the Princess of Friendship.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that will go over great.
Your Highness, the representatives of the Princess of Friendship have arrived and their—
Back up? The Princess of what?
Friendship, Your Highness.
Friendship? She's claiming rule over all of friendship?
I don't know about that, sire.
Equestrian princesses are rulers, right? Celestia controls the sun itself.
Yes?
So, this other princess is saying she's the boss of all friendship? I mean, what? I've got to pay her every time me and the guys have bowling night? Do I have to buy her a quesadilla?
No, she was very specific that you not do that.
Oh, great. Now she's the princess of counting cobs? You know what? Her stooges can wait. Who's the next visitor?
The Prince of Vicious Beatings, sire.
Now that's a title I can admire.
So, after all that build-up and anticipation of the first act, we finally get to see Griffonstone and realize that it is...
Total dump.
Oh, episode. How you tease me. All that build-up to show that Griffonstone is down in the dumps. You know, between here, the Badlands, and everywhere else we've seen in the show and comics, I'm starting to wonder if Equestria is the only place in the world that enjoys prosperity. And this would be a good time to check in with the Griffin King, except...
We don't have a king. Losers.
Oh look, Gilda's back. Hooray.
Gilda. Dash.
Optimus Prime!
Sailor Moon!
Gogandontis!
Goliath.
Johnny Steps.
Donkey!
Okay, I'm being unfair. I know a lot of fans who looked forward to Gilda's return and hoped for a redemption. I'm equally sure that some of you think I dislike Gilda because she made Fluttershy cry. And that's partially true. You make my favorite cry, and we're gonna have issues. But Gilda represents a lot more than that. Remember the lesson from Griffin the Brush-Off?
In the end, the difference between a false friend and one who is true will surely come to light.
To me, Gilda was meant to be the one that got away, the being to reject friendship. Even more so, Gilda draws frustration because of how she behaved. Seasons 1 and 2 did not do much for interspecies relations. When I look at how ponies behaved around Sakura, the buffaloes, Iron Will, and possibly even mules, they're not very welcoming. Gilda was the one being whom the ponies welcomed without hesitation, and she threw that generous spirit away. So yeah, I haven't been a fan of Gilda and wasn't really excited for her return. What I am excited about is the variety of griffins seen in this establishing montage alone. The variety of designs, the combination of bird and feline body types. This goes way beyond the recolors we witnessed in Rainbow Falls and Equestria games, although they're here too. Seeing this kind of diversity really pushes the idea that this is a world unto itself. In fact, the population of Griffonstone is more visually diverse than your average pony town. Gilda's Grandpa Gruff clues in our colorful collaborators on the idol of Boreas and its theft by a creature called the Aramaspi. Aramaspi. Ah, here we are. The Aramaspi were a legendary people of northern Scythia who lived in the foothills of the Riphean Mountains, variously identified with the Uriel Mountains and the Carpathians. All tales of their struggles with the gold-guarding griffins in the Hyborian lands near the caves of Boreas, the North Wind, had their origin in a lost work by Aristeus, reported in Herodotus. So there you go. The closest we'll ever get to a human in Equestria is a huge cyclopean goat thing that I at first thought was this generation's version of Grogar. So the quest seems clear for at least one pony: go into the abysmal abyss, risk her life for a golden trinket, and present the griffins with their false idol.
Brilliant!
Which leads to her getting stranded on a ledge while her griffin guide abandons her empty wallet. I shall deal with you later. Meanwhile, Pinkie follows Twilight's advice and checks out the library.
Maybe it's good that Twilight didn't come.
Yeah, we'd end up changing her name to Twilight Farkill. And then it gets weird.
You're right, Pinkie! And you've got amazing hair! Ah, King Grover, you old charmer.
And yet, this isn't even in the top 10 strangest ships I've seen online. But here's something that's truly rare. Pinkie Pie Frustrated.
No singing, no party store, no bakery! What is this place?
Griffonstone! It chips away at your spirit. Even Gilda wants to buy her way out by selling rock-hard scones.
Grandpa Gruff's recipe is good, but it's missing one important ingredient.
Don't tell me. Friendship.
No, baking powder.
Right there, my favorite kind of Pinkie Pie humor. That simple directness that pokes fun at the world around her for not seeing what's right in front of them.
The Elements of Harmony, a reference guide. How did you find that? It was under E!
And son of a gun, Pinkie's helpful attitude is getting through to Gilda. Even manages to gain a glimpse into the Griffins grieving. And thus the storylines reunite as Pinkie recruits Gilda to save Rainbow. And we get a flashback to... her? No, not dying from cuteness again. I will not be slain. So we finally get to see Gilda as something other than the stereotypical bad girl. That she and Rainbow connected over a love of flying, and somehow she lost sight of that along the way. Suddenly, the lesson from Griffin the Brush-Off takes on a different meaning.
In the end, the difference between a false friend and one who is true will surely come to light.
I guess there will never be a friend that got away. Given enough time and episodes, I'm sure characters like the Flim Flam Brothers and Lightning Dust will buy in as well. Does this mean that I like Gilda now? I'm still not crazy about the attitude.
Hang on, loser! I'm coming!
But thanks to Pinkie Pie's less charming shenanigans, the whole group winds up in the abysmal abyss, which means that it's time for them to confront the ancient menace of the Aramaspi. This will be a truly episode. You built me up just to tear me down. So Indiana Gilda is stuck between a skull and a hard choice. She can either reclaim the treasure and let the ponies fall, or she can just...
Dude, don't do it.
Don't do what?
Please, don't play that song.
Which song?
Dude, we know what you're thinking.
I find that unlikely. You're implying that I think. Regardless, it's internet law.
Since when?
But I must.
No, you don't. Silver, you have a choice on the kind of humor you use in your videos. You don't have to use that reference.
Okay, you're right. I don't have to do this just because it's an overdone meme. Much like Gilda, I can choose between the shiny bauble and something with genuine meaning.
You see, even Silver-Quill knows that overused jokes for this.
And your discomfort means everything.
Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky.
Silver, why? Why, man? Why? You could have picked any other song, any other freaking song. You had to go let it go. Oh, God, I freaking hate this song.
Yes, yes. Sing for me your symphony of tears. But Gilda makes the right call and saves the ponies. Pinkie and Rainbow can entrust her with forging new friendships with the promise that they'll come back as needed. And I have to wonder, did the Tree of Harmony send Rainbow Dash there knowing she'd make the wrong choice and be put at risk? Was she a sacrifice to almighty friendship? Or did it know that Gilda wasn't the only one who needed to rekindle a friendship? I guess it depends on whether or not the tree itself knows the future. It's been fun watching Griffonstone's introduction and witnessing the plight of its citizens. Yet, as world building goes, I'm not eager to return. Griffonstone's got a long way to go before it can take part in a larger story. Its citizens are too selfish to ever reach out except for Gilda, and there's little reason for the ponies to visit other than their one friend. Thankfully, this episode did a lot to improve Gilda through a backstory and redemption. Like many MLP heel-to-face turns, it felt pretty rushed, but it does stand out for one special reason: the absence of magic. No Alicorn amulet to bring out the worst. No threat of magical retaliation, which actually makes Gilda's turn more difficult. And certainly no magical rainbows that arbitrarily turn someone good. As far as I'm concerned, Discord and Gilda are the better redemption stories in this show, though both have felt pretty rushed. Time will tell if Gilda will learn friendship lessons the same way as Discord. But the real standout character here is Pinkie. Her humor is great, she's curious and open-minded, and much of the success is her doing. Rainbow doesn't really get to shine until the flashback. So overall, I consider this episode a win, but it doesn't leave me hungry for more. Time to head on back to Ponyville, and some much-needed karma. Welcome to the party cave, my little chickadee. You've got a nasty habit of leaving ponies to die. I thought about various punishments for this, and there was only one method heinous enough to match your cruelty. Since you left Rainbow's quest half fulfilled, you'll now have to help Pinkie Pie settle a long-standing debate. Have fun.
Which do you think sounds better? Cherry Chaga or Kimmy Cherry? 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 Cherry Chaga or Kimmy Cherry?
It feels good to be an agent of karma,
Cherry Chaga or Kimmy Cherry? Cherry Chaga or
but less good to be on the receiving end. I'm Silver-Quill, and I've led a fun, if unvirtuous life. Thanks for watching.
For the Horde!
Be gentle with my griffin parts, and my other parts too!
I'm frustrated by the current situation.